With the discovery of even more artwork lines etched onto the Nazca Plateau, it got us thinking that perhaps the entire Nazca Line's formations are in fact representing the manifestation of the Squatter Man. Wait to hear this. Look at the concentric circles, the all-seeing eye of the Lord. These concentric circles may be the planets in the ancient solar configuration, and it might also be where we get the idea from Atlantis from, but that's another story. This is the beginning of Saturn's supernova, the ancient central sun going supernova with Venus as the light bearer and Mars as the pupil of the eye, the bull's eye. And on the Nazca Plateau, they might just be depicting the stages of this supernova event. As the Earthlings looked on, they saw this coming towards our planet. Modern day research will say that these lines are depicting human sacrifice, hummingbirds, monkeys, tarantula, and even llamas. But what if this is completely misinterpreted? What if what we are looking at is the formation of the cosmic waters, the tree of life, and of course, the Son of God, the torus field manifesting from Saturn? For example, in the Egyptian pantheon, it's Atum who first emerged from the cosmic waters. The Earthlings detail this as God, Saturn, who sent a son, the Squatter Man manifestation. As the event developed, as Tauruses stacked and warped, the pressure on the planets was enormous. Venus ejected from the configuration, and the ancient solar system fell apart. The Earthlings only survived in mountainous blinders and in bunkers inside the planet. The underground cities all over the world are the bunkers from this cataclysm. On the Nazca Plateau, researchers say that these are faces with eyes. What if this is the planets falling apart? Strange circle mouth and eyes could be the planets and moons becoming dispersed from the ancient configuration. Tail-like features are the connections, the plasmatic connections in Saturn's supernova. The ancient stories from the Hindu and Greek tradition speak of the old gods warring with the new, and the old gods being cast to the abyss. And the abyss must be the darkness of space. Saturn and Mars are now distant objects. Human eyes are sensitive to the sun we see today, and the human body clock has not yet adapted to where we exist now. In fact, the human body clock is tuned to the planet Mars's current location. Our skin burns with exposure to the sun, and we drink milk from birth to supplement deficiencies. And why would ancient Earthlings randomly depict animals on this plateau? Would it not make more sense that they were depicting the plasma event as laid out by Anthony Peratt from the petroglyph discoveries all over the world? The study of ancient symbols and petroglyphs has long intrigued historians and archaeologists. Anthony Peratt, who is a plasma physicist, proposed a groundbreaking theory that many of these symbols are not merely artistic expressions, but are records of intense auroral events. These events, driven by high current Z-pinches, could have been visible to ancient peoples and left a lasting impression on their cultural artefacts. And that's what the Squatter Man is. A Z-pinch, which is a type of plasma confinement system that uses an electric current to generate a magnetic field. And this magnetic field compresses the plasma. When the current is sufficiently high enough, the plasma can become highly unstable, leading to the formation of intricate and often symmetrical patterns. These patterns are not only scientifically significant, but also visually striking, resembling many ancient petroglyphs discovered all over the world. And one of the most compelling aspects of Anthony Peratt's theory is the global distribution of these patterns. This worldwide distribution suggests that Earthlings everywhere had a common experience or observation. For these auroral events to be recorded in antiquity, they must have been exceptionally intense. Anthony Peratt suggests that such events could occur if the solar wind increased by 1 or 2 orders of magnitude, creating auroras visible even at lower latitudes. The intensity and the frequency of this Squatterman event would have had a profound impact in ancient societies. In fact, the cataclysm speaks for itself. These awe-inspiring displays would have been interpreted as divine, supernatural events, leading to their incorporation into cultural and religious symbols. The implications of Anthony Peratt's theory are profound. If ancient peoples did in fact witness the Squatterman event, it suggests a more dynamic and electrically active ancient sky than we ever previously thought about. This will eventually lead to the re-evaluation of many ancient symbols and their meanings, providing new insights into the beliefs and experiences of early human societies. By linking these patterns to intense auroral events, it provides a new lens through which to view ancient history. But what do you guys think about this? Comments below. And thank you for watching. The next one's going to close around, and then in this direction it's going to go. It's going to close around in this direction. This is a radiograph. This is radiograph 2. This is not cut off artificially. This is really the way it is. That's really the way it is of the ladder. Somebody complained about the quality of this radiograph. A radiograph is not a photograph. It is taken by means of a flash X-ray radiograph generator, which is very large, maybe of the order of 100 meters long or so. It costs 140,000 US dollars to get a picture like this, which is done in a fraction of a nanosecond or in picoseconds. And we put many of these. Oh, and it has to be. We're looking through different layers of metals, steel and copper, other heavy metals, and it has to be extracted. The picture has to be extracted, and that's why it's so expensive. So it's not a photograph, but it still gives you an idea of what is actually happening inside this chamber. And of course, the X-rays produced are lethal, and so everything is covered in lead, and people are kept a mile away, and so on. And a lot of these are done half a mile downhole at the Nevada test site with drifts going out to keep people safe. As the current continues to increase, it produces these mushroom sort of features. Here is an experimental mushroom sort of feature. Here is the same thing, so shown side on and then slightly upward. And then one can find the equivalent in petroglyphs, these same morphologies. And here I've shown a few, but they're, again, they exist at least by the tens of thousands, probably millions, and everywhere. Well, not quite everywhere. At high latitudes, they're often not found. The mirror image or stick figure. Now, this is one of the most popular images that one finds in petroglyphs. And Wall mentioned briefly on this also as being the thunderbolts of the god. This is just one Z-pinch radiograph where one can sort of see this. This is just one, and we have to look at many before we can put together the conceptual image. This is conceptual image obliquely, conceptual image side on, and then these are the dense parts. These are the dense parts of the Z-pinch radiograph, and this, without the dots, is the most common petroglyph one finds around the world. It's called a stick figure or a mirror image. Rarer yet, but quite informative to me, are the stick figures that have two dots on the side, because that's what we see in the laboratory. And again, this is in light emission, light being bright along these points here, and many cultures here have these. This again is from the conceptual, from the experiment, from the radiograph.
Navajo. Now I've picked out the double dots because it would be, you know, how do you explain something that looks like this? Well, you can say, well, they weren't very bright and their drawing capacities were very limited. But around the world, they all did it the same way. But if you look for every, between 100 and 500 of the regular stick figure images, you see the one with the double dots. And here I've picked out those from the Navajo Reservation, Armenia, Guyana, an area that we're surveying right now. Here's the one I found in New Mexico that is not 5 miles from my house. One in Spain. Here's one in China. This one is in Val Camonica in Italy. United Arab Emirates. Another one from Val Camonica. And this is another one I discovered in the southern part of Arizona, near Tucson. But again, you find these by great numbers, but they are rarer.